I'm sure you have heard this like a million times right now, that singleness is not a bad thing, that singleness is not punishment, and that singleness is not a curse. Now, no matter how many times you have heard this, and whether you believe it or not, I'm proudly bringing it back to your reminder just to let you know that indeed it's a true saying, that singleness is not any of the aforementioned things. It's not a curse, it's not a bad thing, and it's not a punishment. It's just that a lot of people don't know what is expected of them at this single season, and so they waste the time. And because they don't even know what God expects of them to be doing while they are single, they are in a hurry to leave that phase because they feel like nothing is happening. So I want to just quickly mention 3 expectations of God for you during your single season, and 3 things He expects you to be doing at this time in order to maximize this time. And as I said earlier, because singleness is a season of preparation, these 3 things will prepare you ahead of time for what is in front of you. So let's go right into the 3 things that God will want you to take note of as you are single. So number 1 is knowing yourself in God. I'm sure you can already know that this point will be mentioned, because before we get to the other 2 points, and I bet you can't wait to know what the last one is, but first of all, God wants you to know yourself in Him. He wants you to discover yourself in Him. It means that because it is you, it doesn't mean that you know who you are. It doesn't mean that you know who He has called you to be. It doesn't mean that you are maximizing who you are in Him yet. And so the first thing that God wants you to know at this time is that He wants you to discover and find out who you really are. And it's only in Him that you can find out that He was the one that made you, He was the one who created you. So use this time to indeed find out what God has called you to do and begin to bask in it as you prepare for what He has ahead of you. Yeah, so your identity isn't found in marriage. Your identity isn't found in a relationship. Your identity is found in God. And I feel like if you just can find who you are, find your identity, you would know that you are complete. And so you are not going to be looking forward to living singlehood or singleness stage to getting married just because you feel you are not complete. No, you would know that you are complete as a person right now, and so marriage will just be an addition, and indeed something that will help you to walk in your completeness even more effectively. Another reason why this point is very valid is because if you do not know who you are, you will demand it from another person. And that's why a lot of people want to go into relationships or look forward to getting love and getting married, because they think that when they get married to somebody, or to the person they think they love, or the person that was made for them, and some people will say the right person, they just assume that then they will find who they are. But no, who you are will determine who you even get married to, right? Who you are would be sufficient as a single person, and that would influence your choice on who you get married to. So you will not be finding out who you are in somebody else. No. You already know who you are, and that will in turn affect the choice you will make as regards a life partner. So God wants you to know yourself and identify yourself in Him as a single person. The second thing that God wants you to work on while you are single or know is that you need to heal and be whole at the stage while you are still single. Healing and wholeness is very paramount now. God's mind is that you are healed. God's mind is that you are whole. And when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about sickness in your body right now. I'm talking about emotional healing, coming out of brokenness, not having baggages that you are carrying and wanting to translate it into the next relationship. No, God wants you to heal. He wants you to be whole. And this can also borrow from the first one. He wants you to know that you are complete. He wants you to be very confident in yourself, confident in who you are, strong and energized, knowing that you are this thing, and then you'll be ready and prepared for accommodating somebody else in your life, and that will just be an easy ride all the way, right? So singleness is the best part to heal so that you can open your heart to loving without fear, to loving without worry, to loving without remorse, right? Healing is very important. The healthier you are, the more ready you'll be able to accommodate another human in your life, right? So that's the benefit of being single, and it's the time to really work on these things. So heal. If you've been in a relationship where you got hurt, heal. If you have had a lot of baggages, heal until you can think of relationships or think of the opposite sex without any grudge or bitterness. Then it is time you are ready for marriage. But until then, if you still think of the opposite sex in a wrong light, or think of marriage and you are worried and burdened, you are not yet ready to get married. And that might be one of the reasons why God is delaying you, so that he would allow you heal very well, so you can enter marriage whole, right, for the betterment of yourself and also the person who will be going on that journey with you. The third thing is he wants you to discover purpose before partnership, right? Because in the grand scheme of things, purpose comes before partnership. Purpose first. Marriage is partnership, not purpose. So know that marriage is a partnership. Marriage is not your purpose. So don't pause your life and your destiny just because you are looking for who to marry you, right? God wants you to discover purpose, discover who you are, begin to live in the call of God upon your life, begin to do what God has originally made you to be. Then you can now find someone, and even know if that person will be able to walk on the journey with you. Don't forget, we said earlier that until you know where you are going, you might not necessarily know who can go on that journey with you. So purpose first. Discover life purpose. If you have not discovered who you are, if you have not discovered what God called you to do, if you have not discovered the reason for your existence, you might not be ready for a partnership. And even when you go into one, it might be a disaster, because you will find out that you get into a marriage to someone and the person is going here and you are going there, and you just say that you guys are working in two separate paths. And that's what happens when you do not know where you are going before you even go on that marriage journey. Because ideally, marriage is supposed to foster both purposes together for a purpose, not separating you. Because again, each person has a purpose, and if your marriage will not make you fulfill your purpose, then that marriage was not even the right one in the first place, right? So discover your purpose first, and then go for partnership. It's just like wanting to start a business. You already have the business objective, you already have the vision for the business, you have the objectives for the business. Then you now begin to look for a team that you would introduce the values to, let them know what it is that you want to achieve as a business. Then they can partner to work with you. But until you have a vision, you might not necessarily need a team to work with you. So that's also what marriage is or is supposed to be. Until you have a goal and a vision in front of you and something that you are doing with your life, you might not need a partner. And that is why God said he gave man work, and now said that man needed a help. Until God gave him work, and that work now required help or assistance, he didn't give him a wife. So that's just the grand scheme of things. So note that discovering purpose should be the first priority in your life, and probably that's what God just wants you to discover at this phase of singleness. God just wants you to be able to sort this out, so that when you want to go into marriage, you are going in with a clearer perspective, and then you can begin to fulfill purpose in a better light. So work on these three things and see God turn your life around, and see that you would even find yourself enjoying singleness until marriage would come as a necessary distraction. So know your direction before inviting someone else along with you. Your calling and your assignment matters, right? It matters a whole lot. So a spouse is a partner, not your purpose. So in closing, while you are waiting, don't just count the days. Make the days count. Continue to do what God has called you to do. Continue to discover who you are. Continue to walk in God's plan and purpose for you. Continue to ensure that you are healing and you are being made whole. God is preparing you for something that is bigger than what you can see now. So just cooperate with him in the process, and you'll be amazed that you did. If you've gotten here, please like this video, please connect to this channel by subscribing, and also please share this video if you know that this was helpful to you. And don't forget to let me know what you think right down in the comment section as regards what I've thought. Until I come your way again, please keep doing relationships the right way to get the right results. Bye.